Let's be clear about one thing right off the bat. Nobody, and I mean nobody, expected this. When Shedeur Sanders walked into the Cleveland Browns facility as a rookie quarterback, the narrative was already written for him. Second fiddle. Long-term project. Maybe a flashy backup with name recognition, thanks to that last name. But a real threat to the starting job? Over a fully paid, headline-snatched, deeply invested Deshaun Watson? Absolutely not. And yet, here we are. Training camp barely had time to break a sweat before Sanders started turning heads.
If you're into the real story and all the messy twists they don't show on highlight reels, go ahead and subscribe. And if you're sticking around to see how this Browns QB chaos plays out, you should definitely be subscribed.
Not just he looks solid for a rookie praise. We're talking stunned silence, double takes from coaches, and murmurs from the locker room that quickly turned into full-blown speculation. The kid was bawling out, reading defenses like a vet, moving through progressions, evading pressure, zipping throws that made the coaching staff blink twice. Suddenly, that rookie contract he signed? Yeah, that came with performance incentives, quietly buried in the paperwork at the time, but now making a lot more sense. The Browns knew something. They may not have predicted this level of firepower so fast, but someone in that front office clearly saw a spark. And it's now become an inferno. Let's talk about how crazy this is. You have Deshaun Watson, a QB who the Browns didn't just invest in financially, but completely sold the farm for. Massive contract. Multiple first-round picks. PR nightmares that they willingly waded through to get him. And now this rookie, this kid, is out playing him in camp, out hustling him in drills, and winning over the team one throw at a time. You think that's just some cute story for preseason? Please. This is a crisis disguised as a competition. And guess who's watching it all unfold from the top office? Jimmy Haslam. The owner himself has reportedly taken a personal interest in Shedeur's development. We're talking sideline chats, watching his reps more closely than any rookie quarterback should ever warrant. This isn't just curiosity. This is political tension. Because when the owner starts hanging around your rookie QB like he's babysitting the franchise's future, it sends a very loud message. He's not just in the building. He might be taking over. And the locker room? Oh, they feel it. Veterans have started to shift their tone. At first, it was all the usual praise. He's talented. Great kid, asking the right questions. Now, it's more cautious, respectful, guarded. Because as Shedeur keeps stacking good day after good day, he's not just a fun new guy anymore. He's a threat. There are guys on that roster who know the politics of the NFL. They know you don't just bench a $230 million quarterback without ripple effects. But they also know what they're seeing on the field. And what they're seeing is someone ready. Not in 3 years. Not with the right system. Now. And let's not forget, this kid isn't rattled. You'd think with all this noise, the Watson situation, the media circus, the expectation dump, Shedeur would flinch, show nerves, lean too hard on his mechanic something. But no. The confidence? Impeccable. The poise? Ice cold. The leadership? Already showing up in team huddles and post-practice breakdowns. He's walking into the NFL with the composure of someone who's been here before. And, in a way, he has. Because while this might be his rookie season in the league, Shedeur Sanders has been in the spotlight his entire life. Son of prime time himself, molded in a hyper-competitive environment, trained to perform under pressure since he was old enough to throw a spiral. And now, he's throwing them like daggers, right through the expectations of every critic who labeled him raw, cocky, or unproven. Let's talk about that contract again for a second. Performance-based incentives in a rookie QB deal aren't that common, especially not when there's a clear-cut starter already locked in. It means the front office knew they might have a weapon on their hands, a just-in-case clause baked into the paperwork that suddenly looks like a stroke of genius. The deal was modest up front, that's standard. But the escalators? The bonuses tied to starts, snaps, and even playoff appearances? Oh yeah, someone in that building hedged their bets. And right now, those bets are looking like the smartest thing the Browns have done in years. Because let's be honest, this team has been in QB purgatory for decades. Draft busts, free agent flops, Coaching merry-go-rounds. Deshaun Watson was supposed to end the cycle, finally bring stability and superstardom to Cleveland. But instead, that plan's looking wobbly. The chemistry hasn't clicked. The performances have been uneven. And now, there's a young, dynamic QB breathing down his neck, faster, sharper, hungrier, and cheaper. Much cheaper. Let's not pretend money doesn't matter here. If Shedeur continues this trajectory, and the Browns start calculating long-term cap space, it gets real uncomfortable real fast. Suddenly, sticking with Watson isn't just about loyalty. It's about eating dead money versus launching a new era. And if Shedeur wins over that locker room, forget it. The team will follow him. Because here's the thing nobody's really saying out loud yet. This guy has franchise energy. It's not just that he can make plays. It's that he can command moment. He steps onto the field, and people watch. Not because of the name on his jersey, but because of the way he moves, the way he leads, the way he makes believers out of skeptics, one throw at a time. That's not teachable. That's not coachable. That's it. And now, the Browns are on the edge of the most high-stakes quarterback decision they've faced in decades. Do they ride the wave, hand the keys to the rookie, and risk blowing up the status quo? Or do they slow play it, keep him in the shadows, and pray Watson finds his old form? Either way, the pressure is suffocating. Every day Shedeur continues to rise. The noise gets louder. Every preseason game he flashes, the fan base leans a little closer. Every time Deshaun misses a throw in drills, the cameras pan, and the whispers grow. It's not fair. It's not polite. But it's the NFL. And in this league, momentum rules. Right now, Shedeur Sanders has it. And the longer Cleveland delays the inevitable, the riskier it becomes. Because when a rookie is this good, this fast, and the veteran ahead of him carries this much baggage, there's only so long you can ignore the obvious. The future is here. It's wearing number X. We'll assume his number, fill in whatever it is. And it's already outpacing the present. So what happens next? Do the Browns embrace the storm? Do they let Shedeur take that first snap when the lights come on for real? Or do they bury the story, protect the politics, and hope it all goes away? Spoiler, it won't. Because this isn't a preseason overreaction. This is a shift in the locker room, in the coaching room, in the entire franchise identity. And Shedeur Sanders? He didn't just prove people wrong. He flipped the narrative, burned the old script, and forced a billion-dollar franchise to ask itself the one question it didn't think it'd face this soon. What if the rookie's already the best quarterback on the roster? So yeah, critics can keep talking. Analysts can hedge. But Shedeur? He's just getting started. And if Cleveland's smart, they'll stop trying to slow him down and start getting out of his way. Because the moment is here. The window is open. The hype is real. Look, every few years, the NFL gives us a storyline that isn't just exciting, it's disruptive. Something that doesn't fit the PR playbook. Something that throws a wrench into the perfectly curated plan teams swear by. This is one of those moments. Shedeur Sanders didn't just show up and check the boxes. He didn't quietly climb the depth chart like a polite rookie. He smashed the expectations. He cracked open the foundation of the Browns' quarterback room, pulled back the curtain, and said, "This isn't working. I'm here now." And whether the front office likes it or not, that statement is echoing through the entire building. Coaches are watching. Players are adjusting. The media is circling. And the front office? They're in full damage control mode, trying to pretend like this is all part of the plan. Competition is good. We're evaluating everything. Nothing is decided yet. Sure. Right. Nothing's decided, except the fact that Shedeur has already flipped the timeline upside down. Because this isn't just about who starts week 1. It's about who this team belongs to. You think the wide receivers haven't noticed who's delivering dimes in stride? You think the O-line hasn't noticed whose cadence keeps them on rhythm in red zone drills? You think the DBs haven't picked up on who keeps torching their coverages? Come on. These guys know what they're seeing. And you better believe they're talking about it. In the locker room, on the bus, in group chats you'll never see. They're weighing leadership styles. They're watching how both QBs react to bad reps. They're comparing the body language, the accountability, the energy. And right now, all roads lead to Shedeur. He's not perfect, obviously. No rookie is. He's had his misreads, his overthrows, his welcome to the league moments. But what sets him apart? He adjusts. Fast. He doesn't spiral. He doesn't point fingers. He shrugs it off, locks back in, and comes back stronger on the next snap. That's what wins trust. Not flashy highlights, though yeah, he's got plenty. It's that unshakable calm. That presence. The kind of presence that doesn't feel like a kid auditioning for a spot. It feels like a franchise QB stepping into his role earlier than anyone expected. And let's be honest, in Cleveland, this isn't just exciting. It's historic. This is a team that cycled through quarterbacks like phone chargers. One year, it's a hot draft pick. Next year, it's a retread veteran. Then, it's a reclamation project. Then, it's a we swear this is the guy this time. Every time, the same result. So for once, when a quarterback actually steps up and feels real, you don't hesitate. You don't hold on to the past because of a contract. You don't ignore momentum just because of what you paid someone else. You listen to the locker room. You listen to the tape. You listen to the moment. And the moment is screaming, let the kid cook. Now, let's not pretend there isn't risk. You start Shedeur too soon, you risk a locker room split. You bench a high-profile veteran, and you better have the team all in, or you've got tension bubbling under every sideline timeout. But what's the alternative? Keep him on the bench, kill the energy, and force the team to pretend they don't know who the better quarterback is? Please. That's not playing it safe. That's inviting resentment. You think players don't see through that? You think they don't notice when politics are outweighing production? NFL locker rooms are built on merit. Do your job. Earn your spot. Produce or get replaced. That's the code. And if the Browns ignore that code just to protect a contract, they'll lose more than a few games. They'll lose the locker room. It's already fragile. There's buzz. There's conflict. There's uncertainty. One wrong move, and you don't just have a quarterback problem. You've got a culture problem. Which brings us back to Jimmy Haslam. Let's not dance around it. Ownership getting involved in quarterback decisions is almost always a disaster. But in this case, it might actually be the one thing that forces the Browns to make the right call. Haslam is no fool. He knows how fast the narrative can flip in this league. 1 week, you're developing talent. The next, you're the team who sat a star in the making because of feelings. And if you think Shedeur's team isn't fully aware of the clock ticking, oh, they are. Every great rep is a receipt. Every clean 2-minute drill is a headline. Every time the offense looks smoother with him under center, the pressure ratchets up another level. Because here's the part people don't talk about enough. Quarterbacks don't just throw passes. They command belief. They're the heartbeat of the team, the tone setter, the emotional thermostat. And right now, Shedeur's belief score is through the roof. Players believe. Fans are starting to believe. The owner believes. So what happens if the Browns delay too long? If they bench him, cool the momentum, and let the moment pass? Simple. They lose the locker room. They lose the fans. They lose him. Because no quarterback, no matter how patient, wants to be a pawn in someone else's PR crisis. And if Shedeur starts to feel like the franchise is more interested in managing optics than maximizing his potential, you better believe his camp starts looking elsewhere. That's how stars walk. Not out of anger. Not out of ego. Out of mistrust. You've got a window here. A very small one. To show a rookie that he's not just a body in a jersey. He's the future. Miss it? And you'll be watching him hoist trophies somewhere else while you're still explaining why you stuck with a safe decision that backfired. So, yeah, Shedeur Sanders came into the league with something to prove. And guess what? He proved it. To the coaching staff, to the locker room, to the fans, and most importantly, to the critics who said he was all flash and no substance. Turns out, he's both. Flashy and focused. Gifted and grounded. Confident and coachable. A walking contradiction in the best possible way. He's not waiting for permission. He's not trying to earn it the slow way. He's doing what every great quarterback in history has done, taking the moment, making it his, and daring the team to catch up. Now the Browns are on the clock. Tick, tick, tick. Your move, Cleveland. The future's not knocking. It already walked in the front door and took over practice. And that, my friends, is how Shedeur Sanders just flipped the script on the entire NFL. Not with talk, not with hype, with results. So here's the real question that's quietly driving everyone insane in Cleveland. What if this kid is too good to sit? Like truly. What if Shedeur Sanders is already better than Deshaun Watson, not just in camp, not just on a few throws, but on a consistent, game-ready level that can win you games right now? And look, I know how crazy that sounds. But sometimes, football doesn't wait for logic to catch up. Sometimes, you're handed a quarterback who just has it. And if you try to overthink it, you miss your shot entirely. That's what this feels like. Because the Browns didn't plan for this to be a quarterback competition. Let's be honest, they thought this was Deshaun's team. They thought Shedeur would come in, sit behind the scenes, maybe flash in garbage time, maybe give them some cute future franchise content for the social media team. But this is different. This is fans at camp chanting his name. This is teammates staying after practice to run extra drills with him. This is the third-string receivers fighting to get reps with him instead of Watson. This is a city that's had its heart broken by QBs for 3 decades, feeling something again. Hope, buzz, belief. All those emotions Cleveland has buried for years are suddenly creeping back up. And it's all because of a rookie with perfect posture, a calm voice in the huddle, and a cannon of an arm that doesn't miss on 3rd and 7. People are starting to care again. And that matters. A lot. Because Shedeur isn't just shifting dynamics inside the building. He's shifting the psychology of an entire fan base. This is the first time in a long time Browns fans are feeling like something organic is happening. Not bought. Not forced. Not wrapped in drama or scandal. Just real deal talent, rising through pure performance. You can't coach that. And you definitely can't ignore it. But guess what? That's exactly what they're trying to do right now. The front office? They're panicking. Quietly. Politely. Desperately. Because they see the headlines coming. They see the narrative spinning out of their control. And they're praying, just praying, that this stays manageable. That maybe Shedeur cools off. Maybe he finally has an off day. Maybe Watson strings together a week of dominance and restores the pecking order. But it's not happening. Not yet. Not even close. Shedeur just keeps climbing, keeps checking boxes, keeps walking into film rooms like he's in year 5. The veterans see it. The coaches see it. Hell, the janitors probably see it at this point. The only people pretending not to? The people who have too much money tied up in the guy ahead of him. And that right there? That's where football stops being football and starts being business. Because here's the cold truth. Deshaun Watson's contract is massive. Fully guaranteed. Immovable. The kind of deal that was supposed to solidify Cleveland's future. Instead, it might be blocking it. And that's the problem. Teams don't like to admit mistakes. Especially not expensive ones. And especially not when those mistakes were packaged as franchise-defining moves. But here's the real franchise-defining move, right now, in this exact moment. Start the better quarterback. No politics. No PR spin. Just win. You think the Eagles regretted letting Jalen Hurts take over? You think the Chiefs hesitated when Patrick Mahomes started torching defenses in practice? Nope. They saw the future and said, why wait? Now it's Cleveland's turn to answer the same question. And the stakes couldn't be higher. Because if they play it safe, if they drag their feet, if they sit Shedeur in the name of not rushing the process, they risk burning out the very fire they've accidentally started. Let's be real. Confidence like his doesn't stay patient forever. If you've ever listened to Shedeur talk, not the polished sound bites, but the real interviews, you know this is a guy who believes in himself to a borderline delusional degree. And that's exactly what you want in your quarterback. Swagger, edge, command. He's got it. The only thing that slows guys like that down? A team that's too scared to embrace it. And if Shedeur starts to feel that hesitation, If he senses that this franchise isn't ready to believe in him the way he believes in himself, that's when the clock starts ticking. Not just on the depth chart, but on the relationship. Because these players, the ones with vision, hunger, and next-level drive, they don't wait forever. They don't settle. They don't beg for an opportunity. They find it. Or they leave. So yes, Browns fans, you're on the edge of something special. But only if the team gets out of its own way. Only if they stop protecting the past and start preparing for the future. And I get it, this isn't an easy decision. It's a minefield. Start Shedeur and things go wrong? You're crucified for rushing him. Stick with Watson and keep losing? You're crucified for ignoring the better player. There's no clean option. But there is a correct one. Trust what you're seeing. And what you're seeing every day, every snap, every jaw-dropping rollout is a rookie quarterback who is ready. Not in a year. Not once he learns the system. Now. So whether the Browns like it or not, whether they admit it publicly or hide behind depth chart semantics, they're already in the middle of the Shedeur era. He's not waiting to be given the spotlight. He is the spotlight. And if Cleveland doesn't seize this opportunity, you already know how this ends. We've seen this movie before. The Browns miss the moment. The fans get bitter. The player gets frustrated. And the whole thing unravels in 3 seasons, only to be repackaged as a rebuild. But it doesn't have to go that way. This time, they could do it right. They could recognize the spark while it's still burning. They could ride the wave instead of trying to control it. They could finally, let the football god smile on them and say, "You found your guy." And not just a guy who can play. A guy who can change everything. So here's your final word, Cleveland. The future is sitting in your locker room, wearing a rookie jersey, calling audibles like a 10-year vet, and waiting, not for permission, but for a chance. Do the right thing. Start the clock. Let the kid play. And maybe, just maybe, for the first time in a generation, let this city believe again.